welcome back to another video of the F1 2021 Driver Career Mode with Williams, episode number 15 today for the Mexican Grand Prix. If you missed the previous video, then I recommend go and check that out and subscribe if you are new to the channel. But anyway, our R&D guy Max, he had a little announcement for us at the Mexican Grand Prix weekend.
Okay, I need your attention. The tech regulations are changing. There's a risk some of our hard work will be undone, so we need to mitigate it. As soon as you can, I want you to look at the developments we have and tell us what areas you want to invest in protecting.
So we have a very late engine regulation change, I should point out, as we're going to have a wet race as well. Well, we had a wet qualifying, we're going to have a wet race here at Mexico, but you can see here we haven't got that many upgrades. Most of the upgrades actually come through, or all, 5 of them, I should say, have come through from the supplier. Those 5 you see on your screen now have come through from Mercedes. So Mercedes have put 5 upgrades and engine upgrades on the car at once. We're just going to quickly adapt all of these because we've got the resource points now, so that's going to keep us pretty much, no, there are only 4 upgrades on the engine power and the R&D, not really focused on fuel because, well, we don't need it. It's as simple as that. We've been doing very well so far, but of course, we haven't really, apart from those engine upgrades, we haven't really bought any upgrades. Ferrari jumped ahead of McLaren, who are sort of Aston Martin since they broken away now, I should point out, ahead of those two, because they were squabbling over the third fastest team. But now Aston Martin, they're clearly ahead of the Ferrari and McLaren, so we'll see if Aston Martin start pulling their socks off. Obviously at that photo finish with the Vettel, spoiler alert, in yesterday's video. But moving to qualifying then, Mexico's a good track for me. We're going to have a dry setup on. I think we're going to have probably not too much change with the, might go 1 click high on the aero side, but that's pretty much it as well. But moving to the end of our lap, then we've got an AlphaTauri at our backside, but we're just going to ignore him, and we're pretty much on time, coming through. But then through turn 1 and turn 2, making up a little bit of time through turn 2, and a 1/10 and a half up as we accelerate. Alright, down in P14. So Mexico is a good track for me, as I mentioned yesterday. By the time we get to the end of the lap, though, it is only P16. You can see Russell there, P18, the checkerboard of Alfa Romeos and Williams, but we're obviously on the better lap, 2.5 tenths up from our previous best lap. Can we get a good position? It is P14. As well, Lewis Hamilton on pole. Can he get the World Championship in today's video? I'll have to wait and see, but that's very good. We're ahead of Tsunoda. Gasly has been, well, we know how good Gasly is. It's just he's probably got a penalty though, knowing Gasly's ahead of both Alfa Romeo as well. So that's good. It's promising starts. We'll see what we can do. It's time though for the race, today's Mexican Grand Prix.
Here we go then, it's time to race in Mexico City, a place which gave Honda their first ever victory back in 1965. American Richie Ginther won from 3rd on the grid. And what are the Honda powered cars this year? Well, Red Bull have been going strong here in recent seasons, so can they keep that record going today? 17 corners then at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, 10 to the right and 7 to the left, and all of them will have to be tackled in difficult wet conditions here today. No DRS assistance either, at least not for the start of the race, but the best overtaking opportunities will still be down into turn 1 or shortly afterwards into turn 4. Joining me on this very wet day is a man who's no stranger to driving in miserable conditions. Anthony Davidson, you've driven open cockpit, you've driven sports cars. How does the wet weather experience change between the different disciplines?
Well, I wouldn't say there's much difference in all honesty. You know, besides the terrifying closing speeds you find in sports cars with the different categories all sharing the same track, driving in the rain is, well, driving in the rain. Of course, the biggest difference between the two is the closed cockpit versus the open cockpit. You get the luxury of staying dry in the sports car, but if your screen ever gets dirty, well, that's a pit stop, not just wiping your visor or pulling away a tear off. But most of the time, you know, they're both as miserable as each other, to be honest.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Perez, Daniel Ricciardo and Leclerc, Vettel, Sainz, Stroll and Esteban Ocon. Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty, a Williams, Yuki Tsunoda and Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Russell, Nikita Mazepin and Fernando Alonso, Gasly and Mick Schumacher. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Gasly with another engine penalty. I'm pretty sure he's had like them at pretty much like 10 now. I don't know if that's a glitch or something, but I'm pretty sure someone will be able to tell me in the comments how many engine penalties he's got. Race strategies are no, well, it says one stop. I think we're going to go for a no stop though. We'll see how we get on. As flight lights come on for the Mexican Grand Prix, and away we go, and it's a mediocre start compared to Verstappen on the left, but then Ocon come violently moving left to right across our path, and we're getting ahead of Ocon, and we're going to go side by side with Verstappen. Is there a path down to dive bomb it down the inside of the Ferraris? Yes, there is. We move up a couple of positions as now the McLaren, I think that's Vettel in the Aston Martin, are going side by side. It's Ricciardo, excuse me, as Vettel's being pushed out. We're going to dive down the inside at turn 3, I think that is, and we'll move up there. Have a look around the outside, Ricciardo as well. We're going to make this a double overtake right around the outside. Thank you very much, and move up into P5. It's a great start. So the little dive on Vettel, and then Ricciardo is slow, presumably because of Bottas and Norris. We'll get a replay of them in just a moment. But right round the outside of Ricciardo, great racing between the both of us, not to close out. But this was a replay then. I think Norris actually got the better start on Bottas, but then Bottas then dived back up the inside, and he moves ahead, which is crucial for him because he needs to beat Hamilton if he wants to take the event to Brazil next week. But we follow on with Ricciardo. I've had a little bit of a moment, and Ricciardo has gone into E, and then I've gone to Narnia and back off circuit. So that's put Ricciardo in the pits due to front wing damage. We actually got a quite nice little breather because Stroll and Leclerc, excuse me, are going side by side through the first sector, and that's given us quite a little bit of a good breather now between Stroll and myself. 3.5-4 seconds there. We're having a look at, we've been overtaken by Vettel, who's trying to look around the outside, not allowing you to get past. Hopefully we don't have a repeat of what happened yesterday with the photo finish. Tyre wear though 22%, so at this point I was thinking let's just firm it. I think the AI, half the AI aren't going to stop either, so what's the point in us stopping as well? So we joined Lance Stroll, who's going to have a little look up in the inside of his teammate, and they made contact. Both Aston Martins, that's not what the team wanted to do. They wanted to be working together to move up, but that hasn't happened. There's too much smoke coming out of the back of Lando Norris's car, and Lando Norris is out at the Mexican Grand Prix with a failure, and then Mazepin just decides that he doesn't want to shift up a gear. So yeah, as you can see, now he's stuck in third gear. Oh, now he's passed Norris, he's moved up a gear, but that brought out the safety car. So yes, nobody. Russell came in, but none of the people in front of us came in. So I decided, you know what, they're not coming in, I'm not coming in. We'll go to the end of the race and see how we get on. And we resume now lap number 12. Can we get Perez? Perez has looked consistent this year, I should say, although he hasn't really had that much pace at times, but he has provided the consistency where others have not for that third place. But on the restart then, can we see we can get Perez? It's a long run down to turn 1, and the answer clear, that is no. We're just too far back, even using ERS. It's just the fact that we haven't got the right aero yet on the car to be able to make a move, especially also in the wet as well. But Hamilton leaves and Bottas. Hamilton would be world champion as it stands. We'll see how that works. But those lot are going to sail off into the sunset, and now we need to look behind on Lance Stroll. Vettel, despite making contacts, as we have a little bit of a moment, and we have another bit of a little drift through the S section in the middle sector, drifting that out on the curb there. And there's contact with Stroll there now. Vettel, I was about to say Vettel didn't come in earlier after the earlier contact. But this is a replay. We're just losing it. Absolutely. Started with the tank slapper early in the middle sector. And ever since then, we're just like sliding all over the place. But we're able to cut off Stroll, and he actually came in. But tyre wear actually crept up on me on the last lap. 62% on the rears, 52 on the front right was the cleanest one, and DRS has now been enabled. A little bit too late maybe, but it does actually look quite dry enough now for DRS. But Lewis Hamilton has won this race and the World Championship, but never mind that, we're going to come around the final bend to make up for USA and come across the line for a fantastic P4. Wow, that definitely was drive of the day as well. I will definitely take that. It definitely makes up the disappointment of the United States.
And with that, another year of Formula One draws to a close, and a new World Drivers' Champion is declared. Another entry added to that prestigious list of the sport's most incredible drivers.
So, Lewis Hamilton, an 8-time World Champion in this career mode. We'll see if he can retain his title in Season 2. Coming soon. A little bit of modding to that as well. That needs to start. The World War One stoppers, Ricciardo of course with that damage, and Stroll as well, who did set the fastest lap. I wonder if he pitted for slicks as well. He didn't actually, confirmation there that he did not pit for slicks. He pitted for INTERS, but obviously fresh INTERS compared to our worn term. Though we've actually moved ahead of Ricciardo after Ricciardo failed to get any points after one stopping instead of no stopping. Sainz also one stopped as well, but Sainz hasn't been, he's been unlucky. He's shown some time. I'm sure that if he gets a good run of form, then Sainz can be up where Leclerc is, but we'll see if he gets the chance there. Constructors, we stay put 5th place, not really been able to do anything really.
Great work out there today. Let's have your thoughts. You're beating all expectations. Would you say we all underestimated you?
Well, we've done very well today, qualifying and
How do you
making
feel
up
the
positions.
competition is for you this season?
It's not been a close at times. We love a challenge, but you know, it's been good. We've been able to make the positions up.
Did you feel comfortable in the wet weather today?
We were sliding about a little bit, but you know, it was. I've had worse in wet weather on F1 game.
The regulation changes for next season have been announced. How is your team going to cope with the transition?
We're already done, Claire. We've already purchased the upgrades.
Great. Well, that's everything.
So there we go. One round left in this season, and season 1 will be done. I didn't think I honestly didn't think I'd actually get through it this quickly. But there we go. We'll see how quickly we get through season 2. Bear in mind, obviously my team is coming as well. Yes, it's been a very good run of form since the since we had that fluke win at the Netherlands at Zandvoort. Also in the rain there as well. So yes, it's a very good race for us, and more valuable points. Can we, dare I say, catch Lando Norris and Charles Leclerc? We'll have to wait and see. Perez is out of the question. He's far too up ahead. We can't mathematically catch him, but you know, he's been consistent even though he hasn't had the pace, as I said. But in the end, he hasn't been able to really challenge for race wins at all in Red Bull. But anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you see plenty more episodes. Until the next video, then I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.